Neil Johnson, excited to be with you, excited to share the news with you. I just saw Chocolate Man is on my chat. Oh, I've made it big time. Chocolate Superman, not gotten back. We've got a band reunion show tonight on Rumble. I am setting that stream up as I work on this, which I've got some great news for you today, folks. Some really cool things are happening out there, and actually, I think what we're seeing is a seismic shift in perceptions, a seismic shift in the things that people are labeling as important, even though they're trying, and by they, I'm talking about the powers that be, are trying to ensure that that doesn't happen. Michelle from Duluth is on. By the way, people, if you don't live in Minnesota, I woke up to 30 below this morning. Okay, 30 below Fahrenheit. Okay, not 30 below, so 30 below Fahrenheit. Peter was just calling in. So it probably went lost sound there for just a second, but I dismissed that. I will talk to him because we've got a band reunion tonight. Don't miss that. That's going to be on Rumble following the big show with Scott Pressler. I did just post that to YouTube, so make sure set a reminder for that one. But at 6 p.m. tonight, Scott Pressler is going to be on my show, and he has actually got a plan to work around the RNC because the RNC is completely. Ugh, I can't even. What even word can I use to describe the RNC right now? Oh, God help me. Oh, gosh, God help us all. The RNC reelected Rona Romney McDaniel. And so we had to figure out, look, the powers that be that elect these the leadership of the RNC are just completely unacceptable. Actually, one of them just got ousted. More are going to get ousted. The grassroots is taking things back, but that's just what is. But here's the thing: there is some big news actually that Dave Rubin broke on Twitter. In the last couple of days, and this coincides with a poll that's really important. Okay, so basically, Scott Pressler has a plan to work around the RNC with grassroots conservatives, basically to do the work of the RNC outside of the RNC to basically ensure that we get the candidates that are actually good. Yeah, and because this funding apparatus of the RNC is we're hosed with that. I just don't. Um, there is delay and freezing. Delay and freezing. Are you guys seeing? Is this stream coming through? Because I'm seeing that people are having trouble with it. Is that still the case? I mean, I'm supposed to have my Wi-Fi is supposed to be solid. Everything looks good. You're all jerky. Jerky. Here, I'll just try and get through this real quick, okay? A new Gallup poll, okay, Gallup News, a poll at Gallup News lists the government. People, listen to this. A new Gallup poll lists the government as the biggest problem facing Americans. That is ticking up 6 points in the last month. Okay? This has moved 6 points in the last month. The government is now viewed as the biggest problem facing Americans, according to the most recent Gallup poll. Now, here, I'll give you some breakdown on it. In November and December, it was 15%. It is now 21%. People, that's to understand just how big that is. We're getting close to a 50% move off the baseline. Now, inflation has basically stayed steady, and immigration has moved up 3 points. So the issues that are actually the real issues, which is government intervention in your life, government censorship, those types of things, government taxation and whatnot, that has moved up. Immigration has also moved up. But this is all coming, I believe, as a result, and DC Drano shared those numbers on Twitter, and I believe, just like he's saying, that the exposure coming out of Twitter right now is what's changing this. So Dave Rubin said he spent the last 2 days at Twitter in San Francisco talking to engineers, product managers, and Elon Musk. Learned a ton about what's going on. Before I share, want to note that after a couple hour meeting, so Elon gave him a couple hours, I asked Elon what I could share, and he said, anything that's true. Okay. Um, so Elon Musk called Twitter a fractal Rube Goldberg machine. Now, if you've been on Twitter, and you'll see a lot of people are complaining like things aren't working, everything's just kind of, it's going nuts, it's going haywire over at Twitter. Well, why is that? Yeah, apparently we're finding out. I met with several engineers. This is from Dave Rubin again. I met with several engineers who were doing a deep dive on my account and so many others that seemed to absolutely be crushed after the 2 or 3 week return to normalcy when Elon first took over. They still have more questions than answers, but they did learn a bunch of stuff. So here's the thing. Don't stick with Twitter. Stick with what Elon's doing. I'm serious. This is people, they'd always say, oh, just go build another social media company. Once people get their accounts and their followers established, they typically aren't it just doesn't make sense for them to leave. So this purchase of Twitter and the truth that's being exposed through it is one of the biggest things to happen in recent time. So basically, these engineers, Elon has, they're doing this deep dive, and everything's broken behind the scene. But here's why: accounts aren't just hit with labels that are obvious to insiders. They now found more secret labels, which are causing shadow bans. My account, this is Dave Rubin, was hit with all three: recent abuse strike, recent misinformation strike, and recent suspension strike. So he had 3 strikes behind the scenes that weren't even obvious. Okay, you guys got that? So again, he had recent abuse strike, misinformation strike, and suspension strike. This is Dave Rubin. It's unclear so far what these strikes actually do, but for sure they suppress views and recommendations. They are trying to figure out to what extent. I also had an innocuous tweets labeled not safe for work or not safe for ads, which affect visibility in the timeline. This is the same thing YouTube does. Okay, so I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I want you. Yeah, this I saw Aximus. Yeah, this Hamilton 68 dashboard is another huge thing, but I'm going to stick with this. We found that YouTube was censoring content by up to 70, or suppressing content by up to 70%. The question is, where would conservative podcasters actually be if they weren't redistributing views to the liberal or worthless or just sports channels or something like that? Because most people get to what they see on YouTube by opening their homepage and then clicking on what YouTube populates to them. I did have a video make it through last night, a great video on Kari Lake that's had a couple 100,000 views already. But a lot of times you have these back labels on the account and it's all built into the code. And that's what they're talking about here. There's also, back to Dave Rubin, there's also an entire keyword database so that machine learning makes sure not to promote, violence or, lewd content, but it's a mess of overreaching words. Literally, the word gay was on the keyword list, which would make you not advertiser friendly and harm the tweet in the algorithm. Backing up for a second, they found the recent suspension strike on my account most interesting because it was from July 2022 when I was suspended for calling out Jordan Peterson's unjust suspension. So though suspension was reversed, the action on the account remained. This is the same thing that's happening with YouTube. I've seen this. I'm not going to get into all the numbers, but it's like at times I wonder how many more people we would have joining us on these streams, how many more people we would have subscribed if this wasn't all going on. Elon was bringing people in and out constantly and seems to be aware of pretty much every issue. He thinks maybe listen to this, people. He thinks maybe the entire code has to be torn down and start from scratch. This is Twitter's code. Torn down like it's a dumpster fire, people. At the end last night, he said the whole situation is a flaming dumpster rolling down the street. Somebody said, what happened with Kari Lake? You're going to have to go watch that video. We're doing something else here. So just, if you want to, just go check. It's the last upload video I have. It's great. So I assure you they are aware. This is the key, people. So I assure you, they are aware of the problems, and Elon and engineers are there all night trying to untie this crazy nut. Some changes they made, like the For You tab, have confused people and hurt engagement for accounts who have gotten the not safe for advertiser label without knowing. They also know for sure why things got they excuse me. They also don't know for sure why things got so much better once Elon made the acquisition and why it seems far worse now. Some is probably related to the excitement around Elon himself, which also coincided with World Cup, but that doesn't explain why it feels so off right now. On a personal note, Elon is funny as all get out, laughs a ton, and just really obvious he cares about Twitter because he cares about free speech and the bigger problems facing the world. He doesn't need this headache. He chose it. Okay? And that's a big point because all these people are running around, don't trust Elon Musk. Look, he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do this. This is billions of dollars, man. We don't even have it. We couldn't do it. And he did. Okay? Thanks, Chucky. That's funny. Oh, and one other thing. Elon lit up. He really lit up when we talked about the shifting political landscape and how anyone non-woke is now far right. The notion is deeply connected to how screwy things at Twitter got, and he's working to fix it despite the huge challenges ahead. Okay? What's also really crazy now, having seen under the hood, is that Jack Dorsey repeatedly said they don't shadow ban. The entire machine behind Twitter is designed to shadow ban. It's almost as if that was the primary goal rather than the product itself. Do you guys get that? This is what's going on. And so now, again, for those who just jumped on the stream, please smash the like, chat in with where you're from. But what we're talking about, I'm going to give you the poll results again. DC Drano on Twitter shared this out. A new Gallup poll lists the government as the biggest problem facing Americans. That's ticking up 6 points in the last month. It's almost a 50% move off the baseline. Why is that? We're talking about Dave Rubin's thread here on Twitter. The entire machinery of Twitter is been designed to suppress and shadow ban, and they have different labels that people can't even see, and the entire code may need to be scrapped is the new thought process. So yes, the government and poor leadership ticked up from 15 points to 21 points in 1 month. Also, immigration ticked up 3 points from 8 points, another 40% move off the baseline. So again, the narrative is shifting, and it's shifting only because people are getting the information. And the best source for getting that information out to the masses right now has been Twitter. Because it's the largest platform that has moved to allowing debate on all the unpopular subjects to the liberals of our time, okay? Perfect illustration, back to Dave Rubin, perfect illustration of how crazy things are. A friend just sent this to me. Watch the retweets go up and then suddenly down. So he's, just showing some, bam, the retweets are flying and then it just kind of, goes down. The engineer says, I've been working, the engineer that Rubin had been working with has contacted him specifically and said there is no technical reason this happens related to 2 data centers not syncing. They're working on it. So this is the thing. Elon Musk, he met with Dave Rubin after midnight both times. So in addition to running SpaceX and Tesla and trying to keep all that running, he's showing up after midnight to meet with somebody like Dave Rubin to get the word out on what's going on. But they're having real troubles over there. And they're trying to get it fixed. But can you imagine the quagmire of the code and then the employees that are still there that didn't leave and how difficult this is? So again, I'm really hopeful for what comes in the future. But right now, it's all messed up over at Twitter. But still, more is getting out by far than ever before. The Veritas video, which got banned off YouTube, has 30 million views on Twitter. Okay, well, I don't trust Elon. Well, whatever. Fine, you don't have to. But 30 million views for banned content elsewhere is huge. You know how hard it is to get 30 million views of anything? Okay. So that's what's going on, and this is really changing everything. And this is big time winning. Again, I do have a live tonight at 6 o'clock on YouTube that'll be followed up by a special live on Rumble. So if you want to catch those, I've got Scott Pressler on tonight. The RNC is broken. So he has a plan to work around the RNC so that us at the grassroots level still have our voices heard without the RNC even being involved, because they're just corrupt and stupid at this point. I mean, Rona Romney, McDaniel, and so on. So that's taking place tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time. It is up on my channel, so go get a reminder for that. And if you're new, subscribe, click your notifications and whatnot. But you can set a reminder for that stream tonight. Just go to my homepage. It'll show right up at the top. Just go to my Neil Johnson homepage there, and Central Standard Time, Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. After that, probably around 6:30 or 6:45, we'll be doing the show on Rumble with the band reunion. So that'll be taking place as well. But this is a shifting narrative, people, and it's really big. And Carrie Lake did release some big information last night. I did a video on that. You can go check out my last upload for that. And thanks so much for joining me on this quick stream this morning, and we'll catch you tonight. All right. Peace out.